surprising and shocking, and nobody expected it.
Hezbollah rockets can now reach further than ever before.
What you can see is only the remain of the rocket engine, because the rest exploded. This is a 122 millimeter rocket. This was the first one who was falling in Stella Maris near my house. Nobody injured in that incident. This one we knew that they had, but we didn't believe that they will send them so soon.
Israeli experts fear that Hezbollah has even longer range rockets that can strike deeper into Israel's heartland, even Tel Aviv.
This is the first one that hit.
Haifa's train depot was the scene of the city's deadliest rocket attack.
The rocket hits the roof, explodes there, and then it spreads. And then the rocket engine hits the floor here. It was in the morning, and it caught them by surprise. People were working here to fix the train.
2 days later, the depot was hit again.
It's surprising because it's very rare. Because you can't control the rockets and still they hit the same place.
Hezbollah has long relied on short-range Katyusha rockets to strike at the cities and towns along Israel's northern border. But Israel was caught off guard when Hezbollah aimed a guided missile and hit an Israeli warship on July 14th. Daniel Benjamin was the National Security Council counterterrorism director in the Clinton administration.
Certainly Hezbollah has never severely damaged an Israeli warship at sea, so they're using much more sophisticated armaments than they were before.
Hezbollah's missile capability is an indication of how advanced it's become and how much support it's getting from Syria and Iran.
They're about the fourth or fifth strongest military in the Middle East.
Mark Perry is director of an organization that encourages dialogue with Hezbollah.
They have evolved from a very small guerrilla organization to a very professional army that has brigades in the field with officers who know what they're doing. They're in constant training. This is a highly professional army.
Retired General David Grange is a Special Forces veteran who operated in Lebanon.
They've taken on some conventional warfare strength. I mean, the ability to have a rocketry force to fire missiles with better precision than they used to with the Katyusha rockets, which they just point south and fire. Now they're a little more accurate. And I think they have some more conventional capability than they used to have in just terrorist attacks, suicide bombers.
Since its early days, Hezbollah's greatest weapon has been terror. Though Hezbollah no longer uses suicide bombings, the group that pioneered the tactic has inspired Islamic jihadists throughout the world to strap on bombs and kill. Abdulatif Abdallah is one of many in South Lebanon who support Hezbollah.
There is nothing more human than a human who wraps himself with bombs, because this is the only way. There is no plane, there is no tank, there is nothing. You have nothing, you have bare hands.
Kidnapping is another tactic Hezbollah has used effectively against Israel. Kidnapping Israeli forces has proven valuable, often resulting in prisoner swaps. In 1985, Israel released more than 1,000 Arab prisoners in exchange for 3 Israeli soldiers who had been captured in Lebanon. The abduction of 2 Israeli soldiers near the Lebanese border on July 12th set off the current conflict.
Okay, we have the siren now.
But as always, Hezbollah's most effective weapon is fear. In Haifa, the constant sirens signal a new and even more unsettling threat.
It's different. It's not a suicide bomber on the bus. It's something that's going to fall from the sky, and it's very fatal. People are afraid.
Up next, the face of Hezbollah, the charismatic cleric who leads the organization, Hassan Nasrallah, in his own words. May of 2000. The Shias of South Lebanon erupt in joy after Israel pulls out, ending an occupation that lasted more than 20 years. Hezbollah and its supporters proclaimed victory. Look closely at the celebratory poster on this car. You'll see the man behind Hezbollah's armed campaign. Their leader, Sheikh Hassan Nasrallah, who just this week reminded the world of how determined they are.
In 2000, we in Lebanon, we with modest capabilities and efforts, and with a small number of mujahideen, with few supplies and little equipment, presented a model of how a resistance can overcome an occupation army.
What Hezbollah terms its armed resistance, guerrilla and terror tactics, eventually wore the Israelis down.
Hezbollah is the first army in the Arab world ever to force the Israelis to retreat. It managed to do what hundreds of thousands of conventional military troops in Egypt, in Jordan, in Syria were unable to do for more than half a century.
And that gave Hezbollah an almost mythical status in Lebanon, elevating its leader, Hassan Nasrallah, into one of the more revered leaders in many parts of the Muslim world. Now, as Israeli airstrikes bombard Hezbollah strongholds, Nasrallah's renown is once again celebrated on the Arab street. Like here in this Syrian market, where a shopkeeper gives away pictures of his hero.
Nasrallah's popularity is bigger than a mountain and higher than the sky. He is now getting support from God and from the people.
But whether Nasrallah's support has staying power in a religiously divided Lebanon is questionable.
There will be many in Lebanon who will be very upset about the fact that Hezbollah's cross-border raid brought about this extraordinary military response from Israel, and will hold Hezbollah accountable as well as Israel.
The Hezbollah leader may well be relishing this moment, one he's long prepared for. At the age of 10, as the story goes, Nasrallah played cleric, wrapping his head in his grandmother's black scarf, telling others to pray behind him. By the age of 15, he'd entered a Shia seminary in Iraq. Now 46, the black headscarf is his signature, and he's much more than just a cleric.
He is both the charismatic Islamic populist and the wily guerrilla tactician. The kind of cross between Ayatollah Khomeini, Iran's revolutionary leader, and Che Guevara, the Latin American revolutionary.
Though he's considered a formidable player in Lebanon, Nasrallah claims he does not aspire to be another Osama, condemning the 9/11 attacks on the World Trade Center.
Nasrallah leads a Shiite movement. Osama bin Laden leads a predominantly Sunni movement. They hate each other.
Though Hezbollah has killed many Americans over the years, in a July 2001 interview with CNN, Nasrallah insisted then that America was not the enemy.
America's policies are biased and unjust. We oppose them. But we don't fight the Americans, and we do not launch military operations against Americans or target Americans.
Still, Hezbollah remains on the U.S. list of terrorist organizations.
We are not a terrorist movement. We refuse to be described as such. And he who accuses us of terrorism must present proof of our involvement in terrorist actions.
Even so, Nasrallah is committed to the fight against Israel, calling on the Arab world to join the Hezbollah cause.
Today, the peoples of the Arab and Islamic nation are facing a historic opportunity to accomplish a great historic victory over the Zionist enemy.
You're really worried about another strike here right now, yes?
When we come back,
We are now the most dangerous place. It's the most dangerous moment.
CNN's Nick Robertson takes us inside a Hezbollah stronghold. Hezbollah has grown into a major military, political, and social force here in Lebanon.